You're trying to build muscle and you're constantly overthinking what to eat, then you're probably focusing on the wrong things. Now, I'm going to really break down the food sources and make that super simple. But before we do that, it's so important that we fix these on the left-hand side, because if we don't, I've seen so many guys still not getting lean or gaining excessive body fat in a bulk just off chicken and broccoli. So the first thing comes to mind with digestion is we need to make sure that food quality is nailed. Now, we're going to get onto that, but food quality is the first one. Now, the next one is to do with more going to the toilet, making sure that your insides are working really well, hydration. So not only is that important for that side of things, but it is also important for training performance and cognitive function. You know, the amount of people that just don't drink enough. And this ties in with fiber. People just don't get enough fiber in. So they might reduce their intake because they want to lose weight. So they'll just reduce what they're currently eating. They might reduce down on, say, a normal meal, or they might have a sandwich and then not have the crisps and stuff. But one thing that they're failing to do is actually get enough fiber in within their diet. So they're reducing the food and they end up just feeling bunged up. And then the other one is salt intake. So a lot of people, so I'm just going to put here, toilet. So many people reduce their salt intake because they think it's bad and it's demonized. Yeah, you don't want to be getting in a load of sort of shitty, salty, greasy foods. It's still important to have it within your diet. Now, when we talk about appetite, really important. First thing here is body fat percentage. So if your body fat percentage isn't around that sort of 10 to 12% ball mark, 15 at a push, then your body isn't going to be as responsive and receptive to the food, particularly the carb sources that we're having. And we want to make sure that we're utilizing the carbs for whether it be you've got your training sessions, or whether you are physically active with your job, or just on a day-to-day basis, just general energy. We want to be in a good place. We want to make sure that we are digesting those food sources and appetite's in a good place. So many guys, they'll just kind of bulk, and then their body fat percentage goes out of control. And then all of a sudden, digestion, appetite, and also elements of this, it just goes all pear-shaped. The other thing here, which is important, is I'm not going to say this is the most important thing, but I think it's certainly overlooked, which is meal times. Yeah, it doesn't have to be to the finest minute. Like if you don't have your meal at sort of 12:30 and you have it at 12:45, it's going to impact your results. But you definitely need to have a structure of your nutrition. So many guys with this, they'll barely have breakfast. They'll then go to work. They'll have 2 or 3 coffees, maybe a bit of sugar. It gets to lunchtime, they'll have a crappy meal deal, and then they'll go to the gym at 4 p.m. No pre-workout food, they're running on empty, and then they get home and they wonder why all they want to do is absolutely bury themselves into a massive meal and then loads of snacks and chocolate and sugary shit afterwards. It's because their nutrition structure is god awful. So meal timing is super important. Spreading out, I'd say breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then wherever your workout sort of is, having a pre-workout meal or sort of snack around that. The other one here, practicality. So work. What are your work shifts? I've worked at Mackey's before where it was like 5 a.m. till 1 p.m. and you'd always get told to get your lunch, your break early, because if you got your break early, then when the rush hour would come around the breakfast hour and so on, then you'd want as many people off their break as possible. So with that, I would be getting my break at 7 in the morning. So I'd have to sort of manage my breakfast, my lunch and different meals and pre-workout at around 2 p.m. after I'd finished, around that window. So we have to think of practicality. Am I going to be on a break if I've only got 15, 20 minutes shoveling in dry food that I can't get into me, fairly quickly? Also, hobbies. So I'll put hobbies down here. This could be, for me, I play a lot of golf. I'm not going to walk around with chicken and rice around the golf course. So I'm going to have pancakes, which will be eggs, whey, isolate, oats, some fruit, blend it, fry them up and take them around me. Or I'm going to have chicken wraps with some rice and like burrito wraps. That's the only way I'm going to be able to get insufficient amounts of food, or maybe like fat sandwiches and like baguettes and stuff like that. It's the only way I'm going to be able to get sufficient amount of food into me whilst I'm playing. And another one is footy. If I've had clients where I've literally given beans on toast pre-workout, simple carbs, really easy to digest, not feeling bloated, have maybe a bit of milk if it sits quite well, and that's it. Literally it, super simple rather than having something that sits heavy, especially before you're about to train. So practicality, super important. Now, as we dive into this, then I have written 4 food sources for each. The other day on my social media, I put up top 4 carb sources. I'm going to dive into the top 4 of mine for the other categories. So we've got protein, carbs, fat, veg. Super important that we make sure every single one of your meals or snacks has a variety of all 4 of these. So first of all, protein sources, chicken breast, lean. You can tie in basically poultry here. So it could be turkey if you wanted it to be. I just personally prefer chicken. I find turkey a little bit drier, and I can be a little bit more kind of have bits and bobs with turkey with the chicken, where I can have legs or thighs, depending on if I need a little bit more fat in the diet. Beef, I would recommend going for mince, and the reason why, bear in mind, this is what I'm talking about more for a daily basis, not for a one-off. One-off, you might have a steak, but if you're having 3-4 steaks and you can afford the luxury of doing that, then the calories might be a little bit inaccurate based on how much fat's on the cut and so on. So with mince, at least you can have a kilo, 200 grams in each meal, and you know how much is in that amount. Number 3, egg whites or whey. So if you're dieting, I would recommend utilising egg whites where you can, but utilising them with a couple of eggs, and that's how you can spread the volume out of a massive omelette first thing in the morning. Then you can have some peppers, onions, spinach, and kind of make a really nice omelette and really pack out the volume. If you're dieting, if you're bulking, I'd still utilise egg whites, but I would also be having whey, say, mixed with some oats, mixed with some cream of rice, which is ground rice. You can get it from an international food market for like £2. Don't be had off by that in terms of marketing. Just literally buy a bag. And then all you do is get the scoop of whey, mix it with the cream of rice, and then that's it. And then add whatever fruit that you want to it. And then the final one is fish. So again, dieting, probably looking at cod, bulking, salmon. Now, it doesn't mean to say if you're cutting, you don't want to have salmon. But again, it's quite calorie dense, maybe once a week, just implementing that just for, getting some healthy fatty acids in, same with mackerel and stuff like that. Now, we'll move on to the carb side of things. So jasmine rice, if you are bulking, lower volume. If you prefer basmati, it's a bit higher volume for if you're cutting. Try both, just see which one you prefer. I know that jasmine goes down very, very easy, but if I'm obviously bulking, I wanted to diet and I need to pack up the volume a little bit more. So some people might prefer the basmati. Potatoes, for me, sweet potato is super simple to get in, really easy. You can put them in the air fryer for like 30-40 minutes, just let them chill. Obviously the air fryer turns off automatically, come in from the gym and they're ready, done and dusted. Just wrap them in tin foil, bang them in. And then finally, oats. Kind of covered why with the whey. Oats are super flexible. Same with like the cream of rice, but obviously we've already got rice there. Anything that's super simple that you can make within 2 or 3 minutes, given people and their scarcity of time, is really good. And then fruit here, so banana, pineapple, mango, berries. They're kind of the main 4 that I have. Banana, because it's 25 grams of carbs, really good levels of potassium in them, which is good for muscle contraction with the salt and the hydration here. So that's why I have them. And then obviously the mango and the pineapple, they have digestive enzymes in them. Mango amylase for digestion of carbs, and then it has bromelain in pineapple, which is good for digestion of protein. So if you're ever feeling like you're a little bit sort of full after meat, pineapple is an absolute belter. Honestly, it changes the game. So refreshing as well. And then berries, but you can just use them everywhere. You can just use them on all kinds of stuff. Fats, then we've got almonds. I will have almonds pretty much after a meal, or I will implement them. And again, we talk about practicality, can put them in a little bag, and then I can just walk around the golf course eating them. Super simple, and you can get in 150 calories of good fats. And then the same with peanut butter. You can put them on your oats, you can put them on your cream of rice, you can put it on some form of toast and bits and bobs. But as long as we're making sure that we're getting this structure nailed. Eggs, obviously egg whites have the protein, eggs with the yolk have the fats. Really good because it has, obviously it's got a full amino acid complex like all of these, but also it's got things that are going to help with those fatty acids in there that are going to help with cognitive function and fat burning properties as well. So it's again, when I say some of these things, it doesn't mean that you can just get 6 yolks in, but it does mean implement them. Again, as long as we can make sure that you've got enough with the calories and the breakdown of that and the structures now. And then avocado, I would swap avocado for oil during a bulk because you're probably going to get enough fiber in from everything else, including carbs and veggie sources. But that has got about 5-6 grams of fiber per half to, well, probably 60-70 grams of avocado. So if you get a big fat one, it's probably half of that. Again, if we're getting good fibre in, it ticks off these boxes on the left-hand side. And then finally, we've got veggies. Everything with veggies. So you can put broccoli and spinach in a bowl, a little bit of boiling hot water, put some cling film over it, pop a hole in, put it in the microwave. 2 minutes max, saves your money on steam bags, saves you time having to boil pans, like, you know, obviously put them on the hob and make sure you're boiling 3 or 4 pans. And again, saves time in general. It's 2 minutes, done and dusted. So cheap, time efficient, and cleaning efficiency. Because as soon as you've done that, all you need to do, take the cling film off, put that in the bin, rinse out the bowl, and the bowl's clean because all it's got is a bit of green residue in from obviously cooking them. Cucumber, chop it up, chuck it in a tub or put it on a plate. Job done. Obviously, you can add there with that. Obviously, you've got your lettuce and your tomato there. I'll just put Tom's. And then here, that would be peppers, onions, mushroom, more like what you would pack meals out. So if you're new here and you found this video useful, I'm going to be doing these every single week. So make sure you like, subscribe for more, and make sure you give it a share. If you've got any questions, put them down in the comment section. And if you've got any sort of questions regarding coaching, I've put the link down below. Click on the link, send me a message on WhatsApp, and I'll get round to you.